The rest of my packages came today. 2 rods. You're a little nervous about ordering rods online because if you check Amazon rod reviews, I swear to God, like every single one of the rods I've looked at reviews on Amazon, at least 1 or 2 of the reviews will say it came with the tip broke or whatever, which really sucks. You don't want that. But I think these ones are going to be fine. They're packaged extremely well. This is extremely heavy duty cardboard they're packed in. So let's check it out. I don't know which one this is exactly, but we will figure it out if I can get it open. I'm making a video. Come here. So this is a Savage Gear rod. Did not know they made rods. I believe Savage Gear is like a European company, maybe from the Netherlands or something like that. This tip is packaged really well. They really don't want it to break and have me leave a negative comment. Woohoo! Got it open. So I don't really remember what I ordered even. This was on sale. It is a Savage Gear 7'4", medium heavy. Pretty sweet design. It's got the little Savage Gear writing on here and the little teeth logo. Actually came with a free t-shirt that I got yesterday and wore yesterday. Pretty sweet t-shirt. Always nice to get free stuff. So this Savage Gear reel rod, the Savage Gear rod is gonna go on a reel that I've had, and I've had it on a kind of an old rod that I wanted to upgrade. Saw this on sale, I decided to upgrade it, giving the old rod to my cousin, who definitely needs a new rod. He's had the same rod for like 15 years now, and one of the eyes inserts is broke off it. So this Savage Gear rod has a split butt design here. It's got kind of like a little camouflage pattern here of like really dense foam, and it's got the cork butt here. Very light, very nice rod. It doesn't have micro guides, but the guides are pretty small, which I like actually. This is like a cross between regular guides and micro guides, which is kind of like the best of both worlds. They're not so small that you can't reel like a double uni knot through them, but they're not that big so they don't catch wind or your line doesn't wrap up in them when you're casting into the wind. So that rod's very sweet. I'm very impressed with that for 80 bucks and a free t-shirt. So this is the reel. Son of a bitch, I didn't want that to happen. Oh well. This is a reel that's going on there. This is a Quantum Vapor. I used to fish a lot of Quantum reels. That was like the main reel, Quantum Accurist. Back in the day when I was cooking and dishwashing and I wasn't making tons of money, Quantum Accurist for 100 bucks was a pretty sweet deal. Got a lot of use out of those reels, got a lot of good fish on them. The cast control on them really sucked because now they upgraded it, so this one goes from 0 to 10. They used to have it where it would go from like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. They only have 4 adjustments. So it was like one of them was too high and you couldn't cast very far, and then the next one was like almost guaranteed backlash, so there was not great adjustments on those at all. I'm just kind of cleaning this one up here. Fished on the river a lot, and I got like some dirty water stuff on there. Just cleaning everything up. I'm gonna open the reel right here. Behind the reel, it's got this little latch here. I'm gonna pop that back. And then the side plate should come off. Yep, there we go. Is that right? There. So I'm going to take that off, take the spool out, and I'm going to put a couple drops of Ardent real butter, real oil in there. Just like 2 or 3 drops inside where that reel goes. Now that I got it open, I can reach a little bit more spots in here to clean it up a little bit. This is something you should do to your reels probably like once a year, and I definitely don't. Something you can do in the winter. If you live in Minnesota like me where the lakes are froze over, you can do this in the winter. Alright guys, I finally got it all set up here. Got the reel greased up good. It's a very good looking combo now. Let me show you the old rod I put this on. I really like the way this thing looks. This is the old rod I had on here. You guys have probably seen these. These were pretty popular for a few years. Skeet Reese spinnerbait worm rod. I think this one was a 7-foot medium heavy. 7-foot medium. Not a bad rod. I mean, it's served me well over the years. A couple of the eyes on it are a little janky now and don't quite face all the same way. Not real bad, but there is a little bit of sideways tilt in a couple of the eyes, but hopefully my cousin gets some good use out of it and enjoys it. Yeah, just the color scheme. Like, this freaking Savage gear looks awesome, and this vapor goes really well with it. The rod is 7'4", which I like. Anything around 7 feet. I think the extra 4 inches is kind of nice. That's what she said, right? It just gives you a little bit more leverage for casting. So this has a lure weight 1/4 ounce to 1/4 of an ounce to 1.5 ounces. 10 to 20 pound line is recommended. I have 14 pound test Suffix mono. This is my crankbait rod, so I like mono. I like a little bit of stretch in the mono because when you're using crankbaits and treble hook baits, it'll give you a little bit of shock absorption for if those fish make a big run or jump and try to throw the hook. Gives a little bit of shock absorption. This Quantum Vapor I had for a couple of years, and I already touched on this a little bit. I used to use Quantum a lot, and they kind of died down. You don't really hear about them much anymore besides like Kevin Van Dam. And over the last couple of years, Shimano and Daiwa, I feel like at least Shimano and Daiwa have really taken over. Some other good companies, Abu Garcia, Luz has kind of taken over lately too. Okuma I like. But Quantum has not really been that popular lately. This reel has been really great. It casts great. It has good power. The one downside is it has kind of screeched on me a little bit here and there. And I don't know if that's because I just got some junk in there when I was on the river or something, but I greased it up after that and kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and it helped. And now I just greased it and cleaned it up again, so it should be fine. It's got cork handles, which I really like. They're good and sturdy. They have a pretty decent grip when they're wet. And it's got like this carbon fiber reel handle here. It's just a slick setup. It's a really good looking reel. And on this Savage gear rod, it looks really awesome. These are on sale right now, guys. 80 bucks, or I think some versions are 65. I'm probably gonna pick up another one, honestly. I'm gonna try it tonight and see how it handles, but I'm really impressed with it. The looks of this thing are freaking awesome. The slightly smaller guides are awesome. The sensitivity feels great. The lightness feels great, but it feels like it has good backbone too. So, awesome rod, Savage gear, free t-shirt. Check them out. And I got one more. This one is a spinning rod. I don't want to spoil it too much here, but this one was a little bit more expensive. This one was like 120 bucks. replacing another old rod that I have, and I really didn't like the rod at all. The rod I had this on was a 7/6 medium light, and I was using it for tube fishing, which is one of my favorite finesse fishing, just like a Yum tube. Have a pack right here. Yum tubes. They are 4 inches, I believe. Yep, 4 inches. Caught tons of bass on these. The downside is I'd lose so many fish when I'm fishing tubes. And I kind of just thought, you know, that's just part of the deal. But I really think something that really had a big part to do with that is that my rod is not, is too loose. What am I trying to say? The rod action is not strong enough. So the medium light had way too much give and not enough backbone to penetrate that big single hook into the bass mouth. So that they were able to throw it easily. And it's freaking heartbreaking when you see a big bass jump and just throw your hook like nothing. So I wanted to upgrade that rod to a stronger rod, so I got a medium heavy here. Once I can get all the tags off of it, I'll show you. This is another extremely good looking rod. All right, cut this off. Oh, that thing is just sweet looking. So this has a wind grip on here. This is like a rubber grip. So that Savage Gear had like a hard foam grip. This one's like a rubber wind grip. You've probably seen wind grips on some rods before, or on like Lew's reels, or I think a couple other brands of reels have wind knobs on there. It's blue. It's freaking sweet looking. And there's a little bit of a mark there. What the hell? All right, it's coming off. I don't know what it is. All right, guys, this is an Okuma Serrano. This is a new rod for Okuma, and I saw a picture of it and I was like, oh my god, that thing looks so freaking sweet. I need to have it. I have an addiction of buying fishing stuff. But this is a 7'2" medium rod. So it handles 1/8 to 5/8 ounce lures, ideally an 8 to 17 pound test line. These recommendations on the rod here are basically like what the manufacturer decides they should be used for, they're best suited for. This isn't like written in stone here. This is just a recommendation. Although you probably, if it's rated for a 1/8 ounce to 5/8 ounce lure, I probably wouldn't go too far over that 5/8 ounce and 8 to 17 pound test line. That's usually a mono rating, so if you're going braid, you can go a little bit heavier, but I wouldn't go too far over that. Like if it's rated for 17 pound test line, I'd maybe put on 20 pound braid or whatever and go over a couple pounds. I wouldn't worry about it, but I definitely wouldn't put like 40 pound braid on there, or 40 pound mono for sure. I wouldn't use 40 pound mono for anything. The reel that's going on this is an Okuma Helios SX. So colors on it don't match up super perfectly, but I think it's still going to be a good looking combo regardless. So yeah, the rod is blue and black, and this is like silver black, a little bit of orange. Green line, if I had some blue line on there, it'd really stick out and pop nicely, but oh well. Colors don't need to match exactly, right? So guys, when I was a kid, I really thought like the reel was the main thing. Like you wanted a nice reel, but the rod really didn't matter. You could just get away with buying a cheap rod, and I thought people were stupid for buying expensive rods. And I kind of do still think that people are stupid for buying like $600 rods. which is just kind of ridiculous to me. But if you're buying a rod in the, say, 80 to 150 or $200 price range, you're going to be getting a lot nicer rod for specific techniques than you would if you buy just like a $40 or $30 Walmart rod. Now, if you're using some presentations, if you're running and gunning, you don't need a whole lot of sensitivity, or you don't need specifics for the baits you're fishing. If you don't need specific actions, or you don't need a softer tip or whatever, you just need a basic rod for something like spinner baits or whatever, you can get away with buying a cheap rod, and it's not really you're not gonna notice it that much. But if you're doing technique specific stuff, or you want, and at this point I have plenty of freaking fishing rods, as you see here, and I fish 4 or 5 times a week in the summer, so I want to get specific with it. I want to have certain setups for certain techniques that work best. So I'm definitely willing to spend some extra money on a rod to ensure that you're landing more fish, because that really makes or breaks the day. It really sucks when you're losing big fish. So something to think about. If you have the money, definitely I'd spend a little bit extra on a nicer rod. I definitely think it's worth it. Okay guys, like I said, this is my tube setup, so I'm going to put a 4-inch Yum tube on there. Just tie a regular Palomar knot. I'm running a 10-pound test, I believe Seaguar leader, fluorocarbon leader on here. And I got about a 16-inch leader, and then I got 15-pound test suffix braid. So this is the other new setup. Just looks freaking slick. That rod looks so awesome. And it's way lighter. Tip is extremely sensitive on this thing. And it's got a pretty good soft tip, like you can see, but that's just about right here, and then it's got stronger backbone here. Whereas my other one had like the tip bending section went all the way down to here. So hopefully this will allow me to hook more fish better with this tube. This tube's got a big single hook here, and when they chomp on it, that tube is kind of blocking some of that hook from getting in. Like, it's only exposed that much, so you really need a good powerful hook set on them. Luckily I'm running braid and fluorocarbon here, which does not stretch, so it's not like monofilament where you get a long hook set and it's stretching a lot. But you know, if you're casting out 100 feet or so, or 80 feet, and you get a bite way out there, you need to be able to set that hook hard. So hopefully this setup gets me more fish on the tube. It's one of my favorite ways to fish, and it's so productive. But over the last year or so, I haven't thrown it as much, just because I knew that the combo I was using, the rod I was using on my last setup with this reel, wasn't set up great for it, and I was missing a lot of fish, and it was just heartbreaking seeing a giant bass jump and throw your lure. So like I said, hopefully this one fixes that problem a little bit. It's a great looking combo from Okuma. Check them out also. So also with these rod tubes, I'm somehow gonna figure out a way, I might have to cut them down a little bit, but I'm gonna figure out a way to put them in this rod holder section of my boat, because there's not a whole lot of padding in there, and to just have the rods in there bouncing up and down, I'm not super thrilled about, because over the last year I have bought a lot of nice quality rods, so I don't really want them banging around in there. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get those in there and just give them a little bit more protection. Hopefully you guys like this video. It's always exciting. I like watching some unboxing videos, and if you ever want to try something out and you're not sure about it, you can always go to YouTube and see what other people say about it, and that's better than just reading reviews online, I think. So if you guys were interested in any of these products, I hope you watched this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the unboxing, comment or like, let me know if you want me to keep doing these, or you think I'm just some spoiled jerk who is showing off all his shiny new equipment. But hopefully some people like it. Hopefully I can keep doing like some gear reviews and stuff and tell you what I think about stuff. So before shelling out $100 or $200 of your hard-earned money, I can recommend it, or I can tell you if you should buy something else instead. So thanks for watching, guys. I might include another fish catch here if I can catch something later, but if not, it sucks. It's windy as hell right now. It's hard to get out and fish, and next few days aren't going to be great either, but I'm going to see if I can catch something. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you later.